So let me read. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
no. Okay then. So it's safe to assume nobody got an answer. That's fine, that's fine. Okay, so just a recap of what we learned last week. We said that the whole purpose of rationalization is to get rid of the surd that's in the denominator. Why? Because we do not like when surds are in the denominator. That's a no-no. We need to get rid of it. And that's why we do something called rationalization. And we said when there are two terms in the denominator, we have to multiply both numerator and the denominator by something called the conjugate of this expression, right? Eraser. So if the expression is 5 root 3 minus 2 root 5, can anybody tell me what the conjugate would be? Anybody?
It would be 5 root 3 plus 2 root 5.
Exactly. To find the conjugate, all you have to do is switch this sign. So I see a negative here. Instead, I'll put a positive, and vice versa. If I had 5 root 3 plus 2 root 5, I would change that to minus sign. Since it's minus here, it would become plus. I just put back the two terms. This would be my conjugate. And the rule says when I multiply the numerator and denominator by this thing called the conjugate, it's supposed to get rid of the surds in my denominator. So now let's see if that's true. So I multiply both numerator and denominator by this. We did this when we did this on Saturday. Plus 2 root 5. And you have to multiply the denominator by it as well. Okay. Anybody already did this? Multiply the numerators. Did anybody do that yet? Yes, no? Okay, I would just do it. So multiplying the numerators. That would be the same as 2 root 3. Oh gosh, no. I just rewriting it, yeah? It's the same thing. 2 root 3 plus 4 root 5. Sorry, my mouse giving trouble. Multiply by this thing called the conjugate. So 5 root 3 plus 2 root 5. And we also multiply the denominator by the conjugate as well. So this is 5 root 3 minus 2 root 5. And this thing multiply by 5 root 3 plus 2 root 5. Put that in brackets. I have no space. Sorry. If you can't understand, please let me know. My mouse is giving trouble. So I'm trying my best right now. Okay. And all we have to do now is simplify. So I could use the distributive law to simplify this numerator, to expand the brackets. So I need some space. So you finish writing down this, if anybody was writing it down. Yes, no? I need space to write the rest.
Wait,
I
miss.
can write
Wait,
it.
miss.
Okay, just let me know when you finish.
Finish, miss.
Okay. So just erasing this to get some space. All we have to do now is simplify by expanding the brackets. And we could do so using the distributive law. And you would have met that term, well, that law, distributive law, in a math class at some point before. So if I expand these brackets, I would get, remember when multiplying surds, I can multiply both like surds and unlike surds. So if I wanted to say 2 root 3 multiplied by 5 root 3, that's the same as saying 2 times 5, and then root 3 times root 3. We did this in the class last Saturday. So if you don't remember, or you weren't there, the recordings in Google Classroom. Right, so that's when I said 2 root 3 multiplied by 5 root 3. That's what it would look like. I multiply the 2 and the 5, and then I multiply root 3 by root 3. Remember, the rule is, I shouldn't have, anyways. The rule is, for multiplication, the square root of A times the square root of B is equal, oh my gosh, sorry, yeah, is equal to the square root of A times B. Right, so just remember that. I'm just going to erase it. I'll write it over just now. All right, that's over just now. Just want you to remember that formula. Right, so that was 2 root 3 by 5 root 3. Now, distributive law, it would be this term multiplied by this term now. So that's plus 2 root 3 times 2 root 5. The 2's will multiply by each other like normal. So that's 2 times 2, 2 times 2. And root 3 times root 5, that's root 3 multiply by root 5. Oh my gosh, please let me know if you don't understand that. Like, you can't see properly. My mouse failing me right now. Just erasing that line to continue the numerator, right? So next, it's 4 root 5 by 5 root 3. So that's 4 by 5, just like we're multiplying, like usual. And then the surds would multiply. Root 5 times root 3. Root 5 times root 3. Last set of terms, 4 root 5 times 2 root 5, that would give me 4 times 2 and root 5 times root 5. Everybody good with that?
Yes, miss.
No? Okay. Like I said, if you don't understand what's going on, like you just don't understand the concept or you don't understand my writing, let me know. Okay, I'm just going to erase this because I need space. So we're just going to deal with the numerator right now. Remember, there's a numerator and a denominator. But to make sure that I don't confuse you, because this one is kind of long, I will do the numerator first, and then I'll show you the denominator. So this one, this is the
Excuse
numerator.
Miss. In the chat, Troy said that he didn't understand.
Thanks. Don't understand which part? The blue? This blue part you don't understand? Yes, no? Blue part. Okay. So for this blue part,
Miss,
all we
Miss,
did,
I see the 2 times by Miss. Or you get the 2, the root 3 times root 3, Miss. How you get that, Miss?
because we said 2 root 3. Okay, let me just write out the whole numerator. It was
And
this.
plus 4 root 5.
Multiplied by the conjugate, which was 5 root 3 plus 2 root 5. So you know what the distributive law is? When expanding brackets, you know what the distributive law is? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, no, yeah? Yes?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. So if I wanted to apply the distributive law here, what 2 terms would I multiply first?
The 2 and the 5. Miss, I know. Wait, Miss, I know you get the first 3, Miss. Or you get the other 3, Miss.
Which one? This? This?
Miss. Never mind.
No. I need to make sure you understand.
Miss,
You
it's
don't know
okay,
how.
Miss. Miss, I think I understand, Miss, but not fully. I think I understand.
Oh gosh, but you think you understand. I need you to know that you understand. Not to think you know that you understand. Wait, that didn't make any sense. Oh my. Okay, let me just do this first one. How I got 2 root 3 times 2 root 5. Okay, so we know that the rules are for multiplication of surds. It's root A times root B is equal to the square root of A times B. And we also know that the square root of A times the square root of A, which is also the square root of A squared. So let me just, if you think about it, it's the square root of A squared. When you multiply a number by itself, it's the same as squaring the number. So the square root of A times the square root of A gives us back A. We did that last class. So now looking at this, we said we'll multiply 2 root 3 by 5 root 3. So that's 2 3 multiplied by 5 root 3. We said that these constants here, this 2 and this 5, they multiply like usual. So I'll have, I could put in brackets here, 2 times 5. So these multiply like usual. And then the surds have to multiply by each other as well. So that's why I have root 3 times root 3. But we don't just leave it like this. We could simplify further. And that's what I was going to do here. But let me just show you this one. So we know that 2 times 5, that's 10. Let me use a different color. 2 times 5 is 10. And looking at this rule, would the first one or the second one apply here? Look at the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 and tell me which rule would I apply here? Number 1 or number 2?